Yeah.
So let's talk about African Uncensored.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Africa.
It's
Oh,
Africa.
Africa.
I don't know why I keep saying Africa.
No, a lot of
even
people
when I'm
do.
reading, I read as African.
Yeah.
Africa Uncensored,
Yeah.
an independent media company that you started, both of you.
Yeah.
Right? Where, as an investigative journalist, you do true crime stories and many other things, right?
Yeah.
And something that I found on your website is the WikiLeaks
Yes.
tab, which I
Yeah.
haven't seen anyone do it.
Yeah.
And when people do research on corruption and things that are happening, I mean, it's very hard for people to, I guess, get that kind of information. It's never that specific.
That's true. That's true.
And I saw your tally per president, how much, and are you still going to do it with this?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I should say unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
right?
unfortunate.
It would be nice if WikiLeaks had no utility in Kenya or anywhere. But the truth of the matter is that as long as man exists, corruption will exist.
It will still exist.
And as long as power structures that allow for people to be corrupt exist, then corruption will exist. I mean, WikiLeaks for us was an answer to a question that we had been asking ourselves. So over time you get fatigued with all of these corruption stories, big sort of like scandals day after day after day after day, but it doesn't really make any connection between that and possibly more systemic issues that we have in our country. So the attempt with WikiLeaks is to try and make sense of all of the numbers and show you what kind of system you exist in, what areas, right, that are prone to corruption. So a lot of the corruption that we've seen is fraud related. Then there's also a big chunk of which is mismanagement, which isn't typically corruption, but it can be mismanagement on purpose, right? And that's a lot of it. And you see it tracking really interestingly with especially the Kibaki regime. When Kibaki got into power, one of the things that he did is that he fired all of his procurement officers and I think rehired, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as tender-related graft became a thing under that regime, then you start to see an uptick in terms of the kinds of scandals. So tenders relating to, remember the Triton scandal?
Yeah.
Obviously there was Anglo leasing, which was, it happened across different governments. There was, remember that kazi kwa vijana, where guys were given slashes and guys, and billions of shillings were paid. So that's how it starts in this now like post 2002 era.
Yeah.
Then we get into the 2013-2023 regime of Uhuruto.
Yep.
And like the numbers almost skyrocket because it's happening now at two levels. It's happening at the national level, it's also happening at the county level. And over these 10 years, I can tell you that even the nature, the amounts, and the places where graft is happening have become almost like completely diverse. So gender-related graft was usually related to very big sort of very big infrastructure projects, things where you can hide the graft. These days you have gender-related graft for procurement of pencils, of all sorts of things, and it tells you something about the nature of corruption and the nature of the kind of corruption that a government allows and who the beneficiaries are.
Yeah.
So that's why WikiLeaks is important, because it's not just telling you one single story, it's telling you a story of a system.
Yeah.
And for us, what we think it can develop into is something that also helps us signal which places we are doing well, because that's the other side of the corruption story. There's people who are actually making efforts to try and improve public service.
Yeah.
And so eventually I think we're going to get there. But for now, what we want to do is just keep counting, keep tallying, and keep now people informed on that. And another thing that maybe you might have seen is that we also have a debt clock on the WikiLeaks. Yeah. So a quiz for you. What is our national debt today? Yes.
I want to say 10 trillion.
Yes, you're close.
I'm close.
Very close actually. It's around 10.3 10.3 trillion.
Trillion, yes.
Yeah.
But and the money that has been stolen is almost 1 trillion.
I mean,
up to 2022.
Yes.
So
that's
updated.
exactly.
So it's not updated.
It's not updated, and
Yeah.
that's the money that we can count. Like that's reported in
Yeah.
auditors general's report, controller of budget reports, media reports, etc., and the various sources that we get it from. That's
Yeah.
what's reported.
Yeah.
What isn't reported?
That's
It's
how
like
ball
it's
came
the
out.
iceberg.
Yeah.
It's the iceberg.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
just the tip.
People need to ask themselves,
Yeah.
how is it that we can have trillions, billions stolen from us
Mhm.
over the course of many years, but Kenya still exists? Bado Kenya
But
inasimama.
inasonga, yeah.
Na inasonga tu.
Because typically,
Mm.
with that kind of debt, as a single person,
Exactly.
you'd be
there
facing
you-
so many
You
problems.
close up
You
shop, you
close-
go, you die. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what happens? Because at the end of the day, in as
Yeah.
much as every other leader who comes in,
Mm.
they talk about corruption and they talk about it,
Yeah.
but they never do anything about it.
Yeah.
And because in my opinion, if let's say the president was seated there right now,
Mm.
I'd ask him, yes, so corruption is a big thing.
Yeah.
We all agree that. But the only way to, I guess, end it
Mm.
is there has to be consequences.
Exactly.
Mm.
Mm.
Human beings are, that kind of creature that if you don't punish them for something they've done, then they will not think it's wrong.
Mm.
So what? Because we can't just talk about it.
Yeah, for me, corruption is, I think we think about it in terms of Impala.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a bachelor had. Thank you so much for watching that highlight video. If you want to watch the full conversation that we had on the game drive, click here. I'm going to put it here. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, or even share with anyone who would be interested in this conversation. It helps my channel and it helps me make more videos like this. Asante. Bye.